Yo, 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 what's up? What's up, Sinful? Matty Ice, am I dreaming? What's up? No, you're not dreaming. This is a nightmare, actually. What's up, Alexis? What's up, Sean? Hello, hello. I just wanted to go over some charts before NVDA earnings. And high key, I just wanted to see NVIDIA earnings, I'll be honest with y'all. It's so coiled up, most likely, regardless of what the earnings even is, we most likely will be getting a move. I didn't even see the expected move of the week. It's 15. That's not bad. Split that in half at 7.5. So if you add 7.5 to the downside, 7.5 to the upside, that's kind of your expected range. But I'm sure it's a little bit wider than that for the actual earnings itself. But this week's expected range is pretty wild. So actually, I guess we could just do a new chart. Expected move. So let's say current price is right here. We'll just leave that there for now. 7.5 to this. Let's just say that's what, 130. Let's just say 132. I'm gonna round it up, which is funny because that's actually almost the top of that range there. So let's just add that right there, and then 7.5 off that. What's that? That's 118.50. No, 117.50. So that'd be about right. Wow, it's like almost the bottom of that candle. Oh, right there. So we're gonna say this is our range for now. Let's clean this up a little bit. 132. 117.50. And we'll remove this for now, but we can adjust that with closing price and stuff. But this is the expected moving range as of right now. So as of earnings, one of these levels should be hit. 9% expected. That's pretty insane. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Andrew? How you doing? What's up, Prop? Speaking of Prop, I was actually just looking at IWM on the smaller time frames before y'all joined. And I've still been going over these levels. I still post my watch list to Kindred so he can post it and stuff. I just haven't been as active, but pretty clean breakdown of the levels today, though. You can see that after the gap down, you know, pretty cool rejection here of a bigger time frame level. They took a little bit of it, but then they just made another lower high under a main level here, and that's why 219.40 was my main trigger today for anybody looking to get bullish on this. Yeah, this is a good short-term play towards this level, but that's all it is to this level, right? We have to still prove that it wants to make a higher high, but pretty cool rejection of really good areas here today, and then a continuation of those lower highs to continue that trend down today. So just really clean trading on IWM today. If anybody ever gets bored of trading SPY or Tesla or anything else, just come check out IWM. It's actually a really good active chain. But it looks like if you were paying attention to SPY today, you definitely were not complaining. They made one high of day today, and then after that, they couldn't get back over it. Good rejection of 561.30s. Good test and breakdown of the next zone below, which again is, I'm pretty sure this is just this is from 1 to 3 days ago. 3 sessions ago, so probably last Friday, I believe. Yeah, Friday. So it took that long just to make lower highs and break down Friday's support. But with NVIDIA earnings, of course, this can keep us going anywhere. I don't want to take away from NVIDIA at all, because they do have the power of, again, you know, if they end up having a nice move up, another tech also follows. That's another thing a lot of people don't mention. They just go, oh, if NVIDIA goes up, market goes up. No, that's not true. If NVIDIA goes up, we need to also see some following up with other tech stocks. You know, I want to see Apple going up. I want to see AMD going up. I want to see other bigger weights going up. Meta, Tesla. I mean, they're all on the screen right here. But I want to see these going up with it, and that will show us that, yes, the market is most likely going to continue launching. So that'll be kind of cool to look at. And really, the big resistance you need to look at, if you go to the high of this candle to the open of this candle, this green one here, this is the all-time high supply. We actually just rejected that this Monday. Wait, that was Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. I had to double check. And it's pretty cool because you can always go back and backtest stuff. Just simple stuff like that, you know. And this is how I hope more people like aim towards trading, but simple trading. We'll just name it that. Simple trading. I thought this was cool. So just using the basic supply and demand rules we always use in here, you know, open or high to open, sorry, before it fell back down. I'm gonna add a couple years to that. We can add one here. And that's it. We'll just leave it like that. You can see we're actually stuck between an old supply that was broken down. We just broke above it here not long ago. And we're actually holding support above a very important supply that could be held as demand, which would be super bullish. This would be ultimately bullish. But here we are being sandwiched with the all-time high supply, the perfect resistance. So that's really a big thing that we got to worry about too with the NVIDIA earnings. And this is why I also add on, you got to watch out for the extra stocks and extra weights in the market to follow or not follow, because this will give you a big indication on this chart right here. Because again, you can see we're holding a pretty big, whoops, I don't know why it drew like that. We're holding a pretty big, what was a resistance known as supply as potential support, but we're also resting under what might be the most important resistance there is, the most important supply, the all-time high. So we got to watch out for these areas. Actually, I don't know why we marked trend lines there. Let's actually add levels. There to there. And that's it. So these are the 4 levels I really want everyone to focus on. There really isn't need to watch more than this on the bigger time frames. You have a gap here to the downside. If you really want to look for some cool targets to the upside, if this does end up moving higher, you can actually grab a backwards fib on the weekly time frame. If you go to the low of this move here, the top of this move, going up with it, this is why I call it the backwards fib. Leland showed us all this. You can actually grab pretty big important levels that are actually existing. So we'll see if those ever get hit in the future or not. But something else I like to do is go back to the daily. Is add psychological levels. So I'm really big on the 25, 50, 75s. And you can see 75s right here. You can see 600s up here. So we're just going to... What? Okay. We're just going to add those. I don't know why they did that. And that's it. We don't need to add anything else or go crazy. You could add 570 if you want, 580, 585. You can continue on every $5, but I don't want to cluster my chart. The big focus is watching this supply and this old supply holding as potential support right now, because right now this is holding it as support here, here, and potentially here, which is today. And you guys can see, all in one day, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. All in one day, so over the week, it took us to this breakdown, right? But all in one day today, if you see, we actually opened over here, held up here, rejected, made that lower high, because this might have been the attempt to go up higher again, but then they were like, nah, just kidding. Made that lower high, broke down under yesterday's close, today's open, what was today's low at the time. Of course, now it's different. And then that's where they rejected from for further downside. But look where they tested, though. Again, just kind of focusing on just simple stuff, not trying to, like, overcomplicate our chart now. Just looking at those zones there, you can see that's actually where we're testing, is that what was the supply potentially holding as demand. So it's pretty important that we try to hold on to 556.74. And I think going into our intraday levels, which we're going to do this anyway, it's very important that we mark the low of this and the high of that red candle, because this is actually where they held. Whoops, I don't know why it keeps doing that. I need to draw from the left. There we go. Oh, it didn't show it anyway. Nice. But either way, we need to see them hold this area going in for intraday trading. So this isn't just for swing traders. This helps out day traders as well. Or just, an average person who just wants to analyze what the market might be doing. It doesn't always have to be, to go for a trade. But yeah, a lot of yapping, but I just wanted to go over that because I just thought this was very, very important. I was looking at it and I wanted to stream for Power Hour just to kind of go over some just simple stuff. But I think it's a lot of important powerful info going into what can happen next, especially with NVIDIA earnings about to happen, which is kind of the last tank of a company to come out with earnings. So we're just kind of waiting on them. But yeah, if you guys have any charts you want me to look at or anything, let me know. But that was what I wanted to cover. So if anybody has any questions, we can always just refer them to just check out the first few minutes of the stream. I want it to be like that too, so if anybody has any questions, they could just get it simplified. But that's the big breakdown on the market right now, going into NVIDIA earnings and just overall SPY. We talked about IWM intraday time frame, and that was it. And I didn't really cover tech chart because, again, this is kind of all again, tied to NVIDIA, so this is going to most likely move with NVIDIA. This is the tech chart, so not much to really talk about on that one. But we talked about the expected move on NVIDIA. We talked about SPY so far. So if you guys have anything else you want to go over, we can just go over that from now on. We have a little over an hour, so. And I don't know if I'll chill that long after close, but I kind of do want to chill here after close to see how NVIDIA earnings do. But you know how it is sometimes. They don't always release data instantly, so we might be sitting here for 30 minutes before we see any movement. But I might chill around for that. That'd be pretty cool. Aloha SF. My bad. And we just kind of went over NVIDIA earnings. And I'm not going to go over the actual earnings itself because I that's all like, you know, up in the air. They'll probably kill it as far as I'm concerned. But as far as levels and expected move and just like, you know, calculated plan, I would check out the beginning of the stream. I tried to go over that first so we can get all the yapping out of the way. But yeah, we can go over AVGO as well. I think, won't AVGO be a little bit affected by this though? So this will probably tie into that analysis a little bit too. No problem, Aloha. And thank you for being in the stream. What was I about to do? Oh. Monthly. Damn. I haven't traded AVGO in a little bit, but I know for a fact they have really good patterns for daily time frame. Are you looking for day trading, Praveen, or are you looking for just overall bigger time frame analysis for a potential swing, or maybe you just want to know what's possible? And while you answer that, I'm going to try and throw a bunch of levels up on the screen for you. Wait, did I mess up? No, I didn't. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to add this. It's too big. Just for the next 2 days? Oh, okay. Well, I won't lie to you. It looks like it's already started its breakdown. So this is, every bigger move will have a like first initial move. Like this is its first initial move, and this could be kind of the next move. Now we don't know if this is going to go up or down. I hate when people are like, "Oh, well, it's a lower high. It has to come down." No, it could also just hold support above where it literally gapped and already filled its gap, build some support here, and over time work itself back up. So yeah, short term, that person might be right. Yeah, it could break down to 146.70, which actually is where I would weigh my chips at. I would actually say it does look like it's going to continue breaking down based on just the daily time frame. I didn't even turn on EMAs yet, but you can see they broke down under this very important monthly emerging candle. Essentially what this is a huge point of where buyers were held, and you can see they even made huge efforts to hold it here. So we might even get a little slippage. Maybe we can cheat and grab the low of this move to that level. I'm just going to highlight it over here so it's easier. And that's what we want to see break down. So it looks like we're looking for a legit break of whatever this is. Let's just add that. And let's dot this because this is a short-term level. We're going to definitely delete this down the road because it's not always going to be necessary. But as of right now, with what I'm seeing, I would say this is definitely necessary to draw. So it looks like if you can get a breakdown of 156.40, that could be kind of your double confirmation that this does want to probably fall a little bit more. I see they have a little bit of a gap here. They have a very important level here at 146.70. And I wouldn't say that it's necessary to come down this far again because, as you can see, like I just said earlier, this is their first move down. They already made the big dent, right? So they don't necessarily need to come down here and do this big breakdown again to assure themselves that they're holding this, right? This might be that hold. So I would say it's really 50-50 once you get down to this level, but it's a little bit more seller heavy here. If they get that breakdown of 156.40, a retake of this level, as you can see just right over here, would actually be a really good sign. But as we can see, though, last time they came up here, they rejected. So we're going to go from the high of the move to the open of the last green candle before the breakdown. So that would actually be this one. Let's highlight that because that would be a little easier visual for us. All right, so if they get back above this 160.55, they should mostly work towards this. We could also mark the halfway point of this range kind of as a passive target, initial target. And then this would be kind of your secondary outer area. But nice, I like this. Actually a very clean chart. Kind of sucks they have earnings soon, too. And I believe they are tech-related. Yeah, they are very tech-related, yeah. So you're going to probably see this move a little bit after hours if NVIDIA gets any movement after hours. But we'll see. And that isn't 100%. It doesn't necessarily have to move, but it will most likely. But I hope you like that breakdown. And this isn't a legit trend line, by the way. Just deleting that now. No problem. That's actually a really clean chart. I should probably add this to a different watch list and start watching it for swings, because that's actually not a bad one. I say it's not a bad one because when I'm looking for like swing trades, I want to go for like channel trades, right? I don't care if it's up or down, right? I know that I have the highest probability of catching bearish trades if I find a bearish pattern up against that resistance, right? So if I have a stock doing this, and on this lower high area or potential lower high, I get like a shooting star or just, you know, a dark cloud cover or a bearish kicker or a bearish engulfing, or just something pops up here, right? Something bearish. Then I'm going to love taking that or whatever retracement comes from that. right? Because sometimes we get that little 50% move that happens. Y'all are very aware of that, that retracement that happens. But overall, I like looking for moves like that. And same thing for upside. You know, if you're looking for bullish plays, you know, and we're in like some crazy up channel, a horrible example, by the way. But the idea works. You're looking for bullish patterns down here. I know it's not going to be perfectly against that channel, and you're not going to know this time around. You wouldn't know till it got back around that second time. And then maybe, like in this example, I know, amazing drawing, you get a retracement of that, and maybe that's the 50% of this large move, or maybe it's the shoulder of a past resistance or something, and maybe you wait for this pattern. You know, that's fine too, you know, whatever you have to do. But that's what you want to look for when you're looking for a more passive style of swing trading, or just trading in general. You want to just look for a pattern with positioning, or just good pressure with positioning. You got to see something at a good spot. You don't want to be a buyer, you know, at a resistance, because it's like, okay, well, you just bought at the worst part of the chart. It really is as simple as buy low, sell high, and vice versa for shorting. But you just got to find that right positioning and have context, right? You don't know that this is going to be the high. No one would know this, right? Just because there's a bearish candle here. This is the first time it's ever appeared there, right? I wouldn't know to look for bearish plays until we got this retracement, right? When it came back up, made a calculated move, gave us a little bit of a breakdown, you know, then you'd be like, okay, maybe it is pulling back down. But you wouldn't just randomly guess that. So you got to look for that positioning, and you got to find context to give you that positioning, if that makes sense. Like this, like when I was going over this. Like there's a low over here, right? This would be the demand. Let me highlight it. This would be the demand of this low, right? So if I was looking for a bullish play to go back up, I would want to look here, right? And vice versa. If I'm looking for bearish plays, I want to look at that resistance because I have context that selling has already occurred here. So if I take that zone of that selling and I find a pattern under that selling, it gives me higher probability of a downside play, and vice versa. And of course, that's all theory. Of course, news comes out, you know, something else affects the stock you're trading, something, you know, screws you completely. You know, all that stuff is, you know, out of our hands. But that's the most control you can have, is just looking for a good positioned play, really. Give yourself that better probability. Easier said than done, but it's definitely the route to take. Liking UAL boss for a swing, decent position at the moment. Let's look at that. UAL. I haven't looked at the airlines in a minute. Real quick, I need to look at BA and Jets, and then I will look at UAL. Alright, so BA did make a little bit of retracement. I haven't looked at some of these in a bit. And Jets is also coming off of a retracement. That's funny. Okay. Let's go to the monthly. Price level tool. That's kind of annoying to look at. I think we could take that off, right? Bam. That looks so much nicer now. Alright, where am I going? Let's add that level. That one, that one, that one, that one. And there's a lot of levels to the downside we need to grab. But let's just get those done. I like when there's two levels really close by, because it almost serves as like I just pictured them all like you could highlight that. You could highlight that. Like, don't just trade one, trade both. But off topic, let me zoom back out. And this always tends to trick people up. And there's really not a wrong method for doing this, because again, if you remember our strategy, it really does rely on price history. So if you're someone who gets nitpicky and you're grabbing the lows, right, because you know there's no more emerging candles to grab, that's fine. Grab that low. That's a great level to have. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's okay if our levels are different. Just make sure you're sticking to them. I would actually cheat and grab this low, and then I'd grab that low, and then I think I'd call it a day. Let's go to the daily. Because we really are more focused on this recent price action. I just like to get those monthly levels for long-term history, and then you can kind of use some of these for more short-term reactions. So I would instantly grab that low, go to that level, grab that demand. There's another demand here. I'm going from the low of that candle to the high of that candle. I'm going the low of that candle to the high of that candle, but I'd like to include the level, so I just decided to go up a little bit more for anybody who doesn't know. And I'm kind of just looking at the dips and the eaves, the rooftops and the dips. That's really what I'm looking for from my supply and demand from the recent price action. Again, finding the context, the price action, and then using it to find positioning over here. So let's zoom in a little. Instantly, my eyes are tacked onto this because I just see that double level there, and then also there's a fat rejection there. So just like earlier, we're going to go from the high of that candle to the open of the last green candle, because that's a supply, and it'd be vice versa for demand. You go to the low of the red candle to the top of the last red candle. They're a little bit different in the ruling, but it's very simple once you get it down. And then zooming in a little bit more, because I can see we have a little bit of a low here, to that candle there. So it's a little bit of a demand that was recently broken. So this is now a resistance. So now we have a lot of really good, strong information, both long term and short term. So long term, I think a lot of the selling has already occurred. I think we can all see that. This is really just the first impulse buy move. So there's two things you want to be looking for here. One, either a break of that low, which is what most people are looking for because they're so bearish on this chart already. Or two, a higher low of this low, because this would be a pretty good amount of selling to hold a higher low off of, and not work up, instantly. I'm not saying they're going to be at 52.80 in a matter of minutes, but it'd be a pretty good sign that they try to work back up over time. So maybe look for that on your weekly time frame. But as of right now, they are in too heavy of a downtrend. You can't really just start randomly buying calls. But I would look for calls if you start seeing more buying pressure occur around this 40 to 40.60 area. A little bit up higher than this, because this is where they made that nasty move down. This is where they're holding, making a little bit of a higher low. So decent positioning, I agree with you, but they definitely need to show us more. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is an impulse move. This is the first move up, so you can see what happens on the first move up, and a lot of the time you're in a downtrend. So you don't want to be a part of that. But this definitely does look a lot more promising than past impulse moves where it did just die instantly. Yeah, because there was only one day of buying after that, and it just was a fib day level. Rejected the 50% of that candle. So did these. Huge dump. Interesting chart, though. I'll have to keep that one in mind, too. I'd be lying if I said I don't look at Tesla every other day. Tesla's just a cool chart to look at. I just love the way it moves. Also, I've just been so tacked on watching this. We had this supply and demand range from so long ago. They had that massive move up. They returned back down, held it as support with a crazy candle here, and then a pretty nice low, higher low, holding the 50% of this big green candle, which is a very good sign for upside. Smacked that lower high, came back down again. So it feels bearish, but they're actually holding on top of massive amounts of consolidation. So if anything, I'd say this has more upside due in store for it in the future, as long as it's holding this big ass green candle. And I would honestly say our ultimate support would be the low of that red candle. So whatever that is, I would focus on that. As long as that's underneath price, I would say this is okay for some more upside in the future. But if tech stocks start breaking down and you see Tesla under this level as well, I would say this brings more pacing to downside. Maybe test the bottom of this huge consolidation that we had from before. So I was looking at that as well. You're good, Alexis. Definitely keep me updated. I love watching those plays in chat. I still keep up with all the swings that are posted. All the Kindred plays, because there's all those posts in premium. I just have to make sure everything's fine. But no, I've still been keeping up with y'all's trades and stuff. Noxta had a couple really good ones. And I know it's a little too late to call this out, but we did go over two things before I kind of took my little break. Starbucks and Nike. These were actually two boring stocks that I said a lot of people are going to kind of ignore. And as that happens, the price is going to start going up again. Nike hasn't gone up as much as Starbucks has. I think we can all clearly see that. But the point still stands, though. They really are boring stocks. Everyone knows they're succeeding. So whenever, everything else is trending or moving, or we get a lot more action in a different part of the market, a lot of eyes kind of move away from Starbucks, Nike, just stocks like that. I'm sure you guys can think of a couple stocks that are maybe not a staple in terms of the sector they're in, but in your head they're like a staple. They're a company you know is most likely never going to go anywhere. Not saying they won't. I mean, there definitely is a huge chance, but these are just boring stocks to always keep in mind. And I'm just kind of happy to return and see that they did go up. So if anybody was keeping them on their watch list after I, haven't been streaming, maybe they got some success out of it, or just a fun little rep. Because also, I don't like to pressure you guys into thinking every time you look at a chart, you got to take a trade. No. You need to be looking at the chart in terms of opportunity. That's great, but you also need to be looking at it in terms of learning. You don't need to be looking every time you see a bearish candle. You don't need to be looking at, all right, what contract am I getting into for puts? No, I mean, maybe some of these you just get some reps on. It's always okay to do, even while you're live trading. Get as many reps as you can. Learn what works, learn what doesn't work. Learn what you like, learn what you don't like. Find your little preferences and stuff. Another one that's not bad that I was looking at was Netflix. We can go back to the actual... I don't even know what chart I'm supposed to be on. Okay, so that's the all-time high supply. Okay. Let's extend this. Wait. Yeah, let's extend this to 2026. So this is a past resistance that was used as a support. And we could cheat and grab this little bit one too. I might just leave that level there. I'm not going to grab like a whole ass zone, but that'd be pretty important to test. But it goes to the top of this candle here, this red one here. You know what? Let's just grab it. Kind of like an in-between zone, but I don't want this one to have as much importance, so I'm gonna change the transparency on it, so it's not as, you know, visual, but I can still see it's there. So Netflix rejecting all-time high supply after making a new all-time high, pulling back, but they're kind of like that AVGO chart. Like, I like that they're trying to pull back, but there's a huge deciding area here. You know, they could come test the bottom of this, no problem. But the break of this and the retest of this, or a midterm retest of this, sorry, it's not always going to be a perfect test, you know, where they go down and make their 50% fib and then pull back more. One of those retests are going to happen under this level, and if it does, that's when you get into your play, not from here. It is a good rejection of all-time high supply, but unless you were someone who got in on, like, you know, a rejection of this level here, maybe you were zoomed in on the 5-minute, you like that was getting you wouldn't already be in puts. If you're someone who's waiting end of day, you wouldn't already be in shorts. You'd be waiting to see what kind of reaction this is about to get, because it's just under all-time high, so that doesn't mean it has to pull back down. You know, it could hold this support, and next thing you know, we're at 750. So Netflix is a pretty powerful chart to keep on watch. This is one that could randomly go hit 750, 800 if it does make a new all-time high. So just keep that in mind. Pretty powerful stock if it does make that new high, or hold that new high, I should say. So you can see here they made a new high, failed to close over, failed to close. I mean, nothing was closed beyond that area yet in terms of the daily time frame. Coin's a pretty clean chart. I definitely encourage you guys to add some of those to your watch list that we've gone over. Even, like I said, even if it isn't for real trades, even if it's just for getting a rep in, that's fine. Just trying to get reps. Whoa, who just posted this? Whoa. Did y'all see what D-Touch just posted? Damn. Look at this man. Small body candle on increased volume at weekly emerging level. What a beast. I just saw that huge percent and I was like, what? And then I went to go read what he said. I like that too. Not just the big gains, but it's nice to just get quick understanding of someone's trade. Because basic stuff like that is just, that's all you got. Like right here. There's nothing super complex about this. And that's what we need to see. Huge move, by the way. I did see a couple of you guys talk about shorts under that 559 level. So good job on that. And good job to the few people I still see posting in the post-charts channel. I'd love to see Garden Trader still posting her game plans and just overall analysis of the chart before the day started. Very early, too. Almost 2 hours before the open. Yo, what's up, Daffy? What's up, E? How y'all doing? Make sure if you guys are just now tuning in to go to the beginning of the stream. I know, I'm not trying to push you away, but definitely check out the very beginning. You're going to want to hear what we talked about on NVIDIA, SPY, and just the overall market. So go back to the beginning of the stream if you want to get, you know, a better breakdown on the overall market. Now we're kind of just going through a bunch of different tickers for fun. We took a couple requests. I covered a couple on my own. And we still got plenty of time in the power hour because I'm talking at the speed of light. No problem, me. I just know when someone clicks on the stream, I try to remind people of that because I always try to cover the important stuff quick and at the beginning. Because I always feel bad that we end up rambling and talking about other stuff. And I know there's people in here that want to focus. NVIDIA to the moon. It's very possible. And I'll probably be in here for streaming the earnings. Does anybody know the exact time that it's going to be coming out? I know after close it's happening, duh. But does anybody know the exact time that it will be happening? Because sometimes these earnings calls don't happen right after the close. Sometimes they happen 30 to 45 minutes after. Sometimes they're even later. Okay, so 20 minutes after. Okay, I will definitely be here for the NVIDIA earnings then. Okay, I changed the name of the stream so people could see it. Excuse me. Okay, both of you said 420. Good, alright. Can you go over how you chart supply and demand? Yes, we can. Actually, Andrew, did you just now tune in, I'm assuming? I'm assuming. Andrew Bushi. That's a tough-ass last name. I was in earlier, but just came back into the show. Okay, okay. Damn, you like just missed the perfect breakdown of the supply and demand. Here, I'll just go back. I mean, you could go back and stream too, but I don't want to do that to you. So just a quick rule of thumb. Let's write this down together. So for supply. Oh, you're that Andrew. Bet. What's up, man? I know you. Alright, supply. So write this down with me. Supply. The rules of drawing the supply. You grab the top of the high of... I don't know why I'm saying top of the high of the move. That sounds so weird. High of move to open of last green candle before breakdown. So let's do this. There we go. Low of move to high of last red candle before reversal back up. And I love this because it works perfectly with our price history. So quick, write that down. Tell me when you're good. And then we'll go over a couple things real quick. Let me know when you're good. We got time. Don't rush. Plenty of time. We already covered the important stuff. We're just enjoying ourselves for the next 40 minutes. And then we'll chill for 20 minutes after close to watch the NVIDIA earnings. Okay, good. Bet. All right. We'll zoom in now. So, and this is going to be things you use from recent. And you can go back and stream and hear my original breakdown, but I want to go over it again with you, Andrew. So if you want to ask anything while I'm going over it, feel free to cut me off. I'll go over whatever. But you see this is the all-time high. We're going from the high of the move to the open of the last green candle. This actually could have been used as well for, and this is how we went over it, for intraday trading as well. This could have been helpful for, oh, there's a supply here. Let me look for lower highs under this, or let me look for rejections of this, or breakdowns of, anything, or holds of it even to go up. It doesn't always have to be for coming back down. And vice versa for demand. So let's go back to the daily and see what is this bottom rectangle we have. So this is another supply. It isn't even a demand, but because we're above this support, above it as support right now, we hit it, held it, hit it. Kind of hitting it today and trying to hold towards end of day. We don't know if it's support. So we're still seeing is 556 okay? And that's why in the stream we drew the lows of this, because if we get a breakdown of that intraday tomorrow, that'll be a huge indication that we want to test 553 and maybe even lower. But let's go over a couple examples though, because we went over a lot and they pretty much all had supply and demand in them. Here, let's do this then. You know what? This is good practice for you actually. You should open up a new chart. Anybody, not just Andrew. I don't want to just target Andrew. But just type S/D. And that stands for supply/demand. And every single day, and you could post this in chat, you could keep this to yourself, you could DM me. I don't care what you want to do, but you should definitely be practicing this on a day-to-day basis. Most of my better traders do. If you look at Garden Trader, if you look at Matty Ice, if you look at either of my Matties, if you look at any of the guys who post in chat, almost all of them will have these rectangles on their chart. And almost all of the time, Jack does this a lot too. But every time I've ever done a, I don't want to say mentorship, but every time I've done a one-on-one or a group session with people, and we've gone over, just good levels. A lot of the time, I make them go over this so they see it for themselves and kind of add it to their routine. So let's do this together. Let's add the supply. I'm adding the extended hours and highlighting it so you can see we're going from day to day. It's a little hard to break that up when they're so mixed together. So let's just start with this day. Let's just start here. I'm not going to try to find some context point. Let's just start here. Why can't I zoom in? What is going on? Hold up. What the hell? Oh, that's why. I don't understand. That's a new bug. That one's so weird. So let's start on this day. So every single day, I want you to focus on high and low, right? So just focus on the high and low of this day, right? I want you to focus on grabbing the high to the open of the last green candle before a breakdown. I don't care where it comes from. So if this is the high of day, I want you to find the last green candle open, which actually in this instance is perfect because it happens to be this day's open. So that one's actually very perfect. And you can see there's a little bit one right here too where they kind of break down, but we're not focused on that right now. We're focused on high and low, right? So now we have our supply of this day's high, right? Now we're going to grab the demand of this day's low, right? So that'd be the low of the last red candle to the high of the last red candle before the reversal back up, right? I don't even care if it ever gets retested or not. If it goes up from there, that's where I'm grabbing it from. Because remember, we're not using it for this day. We're using it as context for the next day, right? So if I ever see here, let's go back to that day real quick. If I see any, let me make it so we see both. You can highlight them if you want to. It's just a good visual aid. You don't actually have to do that. What was I going to say, though? Oh, so with your demand, you're going to be looking for higher lows. You're going to be looking for reversal plays from this. If we lose this and we retake it, it's a very good sign that a higher low is stepping in and a potential move up is happening. So you want to look for all kinds of plays around that in terms of going to the upside and downside. If I get a breakdown of this and I get a clear rejection of this, right? It's not always going to look that good. Sometimes you'll get this midterm rejection that rejects the 50% of this downside move, and maybe they come up to this point, then they pull back, whatever that is. Actually, you draw it like this, and then it'd be the 50%. So whatever that is, your retest types. But that's what you'd be looking for. So it's for upside and downside, but you're most looking for upside plays from this, unless you do see that downside, that obvious downside break where they're definitely trying to break. Because again, break a previous day low is not a good sign for buyers. And vice versa. Against the seller zone, we're going to be looking for lower highs, reversal plays to the downside against this. If we see any retake of this and a loss of this, it's a good sign that they're definitely trying to use this liquidation, use this energy built up here to pull it back down towards the bottom of this area. So we're going to be looking for all kinds of just well-positioned plays around these areas. They're just very good to look for. And they're not always going to be perfect, but there literally isn't a strategy that's 100%. So well, you're good. No, Andrew. The supply and the demand, I'm just going over this in this term so you understand how to draw it on any time frame. So you could use this on any time frame. I'm just showing you the most basic use of it so you know how to use it for the daily or the 4 hour or whatever time frames you're used to using or want to use them on. You can use this exact method for anything. Like I showed you on the daily, I'm showing you now here on the 5 minute. So I'm just showing you a basic way of how the basic concept of our rules are for the supply and demand. How do you draw them, Because there is a consistent rule to them. That's my whole point of my supply and demand. Most people out there, you go watch their supply demand videos or you hear anybody say, I trade supply and demand, and you ask them, well, how would you draw this chart? And they send you that chart. And then let's say you make them delete it and you make them redraw it. And they send you back the same chart, but with different results. It's because they don't have a consistent rule-based system on how to draw those supply and demand zones, whereas my system has a consistent rule-based system. We're not looking at, randomosity. I'm not looking at random chaos, right? I'm not looking at random levels, right? These have actual rules to drawing them. If I delete this chart, I will get the exact same levels to the exact same cent. I will not be off by even a cent. So that's my whole point of why I draw it like this. But I'm just showing you the most basics of it, though, so you can use it to draw it on anything. But this is just a good way to practice it. This is just a good basic way. But does that make sense? Because this isn't just BB system. I'm just trying to show you the basics of the ruling of how we draw this stuff. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that makes sense. I didn't want you to think I'm trying to talk about something else. This is definitely supply and demand related still, but it is BB system related at the same time. But you got to remember, Andrew, the BB system is just price history, and all I'm using right now is price history. That's all I'm using. We're just drawing it a different way, so it has a little bit different of a visual aid for us, if that makes sense. But let's just keep moving on. I think you got it. So let's go into this day now. So progression. This is a huge step that I wish more people in chat would take, because this actually helps me. It helps so many of my different traders in chat that are, succeeding a little bit more and more. But I would definitely say going from day to day to day and just drawing the supply and demand like this. So let's say, did they break this? They did? Okay, well, then we're removing this, because they have now invalidated that zone. We could see, if I go back, they broke it. They brought it back up. They held some higher lows and they went up. So we could have taken some good bullish plays here. We could have waited, taken some more over here, maybe here, because we see that there's more higher low pressure above this support, and then we could be bullish. We didn't even make it past that high of day. We didn't even test that supply. So not a crazy move, but we could definitely see some decent opportunity there. But let's remove those levels real quick, because they've been invalidated now. So now we're in the mindset of, okay, it's end of day this day. How do we draw this? Okay, let's go from the low of the day to the top of the last red candle. And in some instances, I like to cheat and just grab whatever notable level is there, and it's only a couple cents. So let's just go ahead and include that day's open, because it is a very strong notable level. And then that'll be our zone going into the next day. I'll just draw this one for example's sake. Alright, now this day's over, we're into this day. Now we can look for opportunity on this day. And you can see, if you go into chat too, a lot of people have excuse me. A lot of people have either 559.49 or 559.62 marked, because I believe that is an emerging candle, which all my traders should have that marked. But you'll see a lot of my people in my chat have this area marked, and that's because it's a huge area where they either hold this as support and we get some bounces, or this is where the breakdown is occurring, and you can see a large move happen not just from there, but also from further down where that zone was actually starting. So you can see how this could have been effective for downside trading. Just from day to day. But that's just the basics on how to draw the actual zones. What did it just do? Oh, there it goes. And then going into today, we'll probably remove this and we'll have it drawn like this. Oops. We'll have all of our other levels drawn, our emerging candles, our today's open, our today's high, or whatever. And then we'll have a more calculated chart in front of us going into the next day. But let me know if that makes sense. I don't want to continue and we just, not understand what we're talking about anymore. But that's just the basics of the supply and demand. For anybody who hasn't, clicked on the videos or the playlist or anything, that's just a quick breakdown of it. But there is a whole playlist for this stuff. It's not just in our paid courses. It is also free on the YouTube channel as well. And we go over this stuff in our streams. And a ton of people in my Discord still go over this stuff on a daily basis. So if you are having any problems with that, honestly, going over examples is very helpful. But just give me a sign or a thumbs up. Everyone's good to go. Andrew said, I made one play today, SPY at 12.18. Let me turn my 9 EMA on. I don't have that on right now. I think it's this one. Yeah. Alright, so that'd be 11:18 to 11:45 for me. Oh, you were in puts. Okay. I was about to say. Wait, so why did you say... Oh, you cut because it went above the 9 EMA. I see what you're saying now. I'm sorry. I was about to be like, why did you get into puts if it's above the 9 EMA? But I see what you're saying. You got in, then it went above, and then you cut it, and that's why you got out. Okay. That makes sense to me. I was like, what is he talking about? So we could just look at that in terms of like how we just drew our zones too. If you have it drawn like this and you do have the 9 EMA on, you could see the 9 EMA is great, but I really don't like to use it too much. For getting me in. It's a good extra confirmation or something good to stop you out. I would honestly watch it on the 10-minute as a stop loss. But the big thing, just kind of going over what we went over before is like, if you see here, they broke down under today's open. they broke down under this, zone that we just went over, and then they fell all the way to here, right? So if you go from where they fell from to where they fell to, you'll actually see there's a calculated midterm retest happening here. And this is why I urge so many people in chat to go over the retest trading video that I've gone over. And this is actually the one I highlighted the most because it's my favorite type of retest. It's a hidden retest, the midterm retest. But you actually see it actually would have given you a calculated entry under that breakdown. I didn't even know it did that until I drew it, but kind of nice to see. But I could see why the 90 MA might have gotten you out of that. And it did break that new high, so I could see that why that might have scared you a little bit. And they did close a new high. It's not fair to say they didn't, because they definitely did. Even if it's weak looking, but I don't know. Either way, good job managing your trade, not just holding it forever and blindly, guessing. I can definitely see you weren't just guessing. If you would have said you were in calls, I would have been like, what? But now it makes sense. Sandollar said, was trying to figure out why there's no sound, then I heard my wireless headset talking to me. Good stuff, Carter. Honestly, there's not a better time for it than right now. With everything sitting under all-time high supply and just above the old resistance as a support now. It's the market sandwiched right now, and there's a lot of catalysts coming. So definitely a good time to be doing what you're doing right now, in my opinion. I'm kind of on that same vibe too. But good job keeping up with it. I saw you still posting in the small caps channel too, and I appreciate that. Do you have perms to tag rolls in there? If you want to tag at here, you should tag at here when you post in there. But if you can't, let me know. I'm gonna double check too, just to make sure. But at hearing would actually help. If anybody's on. At here only tags people who are online, so you don't have to worry about pissing anybody off. Just don't tag at everyone, because that'll probably piss some people off. Alright, permissions. Prop Street. Oh yeah, I gave you permissions, alright. Yeah, you definitely have it. But I do appreciate that, because I sometimes backtest your levels, and I'm like, okay, he's got this one, he's got that one. He's got this support, he's got that resistance. I do go over that small cap channel, because I'm so used to posting in it. But I like that it's the small caps channel now, because it really focuses on IWM, and I really want more people to focus on IWM over time. I think SPY, SPX, I think these are great. I think swing trading stocks is great. But I also think people should be looking at the small cap side of the market, because you're going to, I mean, really, you're kind of just blindsiding yourself if you're not looking at it. I think small caps are great. Small caps are great. Yeah, he's got the ad here. Yeah, I do appreciate you posting in there, and I thought that was a good idea when you brought it up. I just wanted to appreciate you for it. Because some people, they'll be like, yo, Bueller, we should do this in chat. And I'm like, oh, man, that's awesome. I would love to have you engage in chat more. And then, like, I give them permissions to do things, and they just, like, stop posting after, like, literally 2 days. Like, a weekend hits them. They're like, all right, back to nothing. Like, okay. So I do appreciate that. My boy Andrew and Garden Trader actually been keeping the post charts channel pretty clean. Let me see what they got in here today. Ooh, Andrew just posted. I'm really not kissing ass when I say this, but y'all's charts are just so clean. I know to an outsider, they might be like, "Well, there's so many levels in EMAs," but like as someone who's like seasoned to look at stuff like this, like all of us are, yeah, you look at it and you're like, "Damn, that's so nice how he has that set up. He's got everything prepared." I see why you... Oh, wait, that was triple Qs. Yeah, that would have been a tough trade to hold, Andrew. I'm definitely not bashing you for cutting it, that's for sure. I definitely like that you were in downside plays for it, but it definitely brought back a little bit too much upside when it did that retake. But, again, like I've said before, this stuff like this might just be... Because this is an inside bar, it's 50-50. then they gave you that candle. But them pushing up like that might just be to trick people into holding or to cutting short plays, because that creates, like I said, a lot more liquidation or energy, like we like to put it, so it's a little easier to understand. But it actually allows them to make bigger moves to the downside if they do this and they break down. Of course, you could say vice versa. If we break down and this would have closed back up above this, they probably would have had this size move to the upside. It's funny to think about that kind of thing, but very, very large moves. But yeah, I definitely can't bash you for that one. Fascinating how the down close candle fits exactly between the levels. You know, another crazy, you got to think about this too, Aloha. So not only did it give us that breakdown, but if you were to just calculate to the downside with the fib what this did with this zone, it actually perfectly did exactly what we like to talk about in here. It did that midterm retest that it's kind of hard to see, right? But you have to draw it a certain way, right? So got to make sure you got the right zones or the right levels on your chart, or you're going to have a different midterm retest than other people in chat. But yeah, I saw that too, and I thought that was interesting. Like, it perfectly fits that zone, and then they perfectly tested the 50% to go down more. They didn't have to do this move, but they did reject a very good calculated area. Damn, Andrew, he said I'm doing a small account challenge right now. Started on Friday, and I'm up 40% on the whole account. That's why. Oh, okay. No, again, that's why I wasn't bashing you, because I don't see the point in. I don't see the sanity in somebody who says, "I'm gonna keep holding this. It just made a new high." Like, okay. What if it continues making that new high? You know, you would have just lost that play outright. You wouldn't have had any money to return back. So I definitely agree with you why you cut. You're trying to be passive, and I agree with that mindset. That's why I'm not like mistaking you for that. It sucks it did that move right after you, but I'm just going over why it did make that move and what we could possibly look for next time. So when you see those big zones, when you see those big demands or big supplies, look at the breakdown of them too, or the hold of them. Sometimes it'll be the opposite. Sometimes it's, we're talking about downside because today went down, but in other cases, we're going to have nice moves that go up. Hold the 50% of that, and then you don't get a retest right here. A lot of people look for retests right here every time. That's not always going to happen, and that's why I go over that midterm retest, because it's like it's the retest before you need it, and then when you're looking for the one that you think you need, it doesn't need it because it's already going up more. It already has that energy from the past retest. It already has that liquidation. So, just something interesting to think about. Oh, yo, my bad, Sandal. I don't even know why that didn't pop up for me. Thank you for the. He donated $4 with some Russian coffee. Which, are we still calling that Russian coffee? Because it does. It looks like fruit punch to me. Why did I type on the chart when I have a scratch pad right here? We could have typed that together and seen it the whole time. And only 18 minutes before close. So if you guys have any charts you want to go over, or any concepts you want me to go over from our strategies or anything, that's fine. But please let me know. I'm going to go grab a water real quick because my throat's kind of hurting now. So I've been non-stop yapping. But don't go anywhere. We're going to look at some more stuff, and then we're going to look at the NVIDIA earnings. Tell NVIDIA to run up. Yeah, we'll see what it does. Again, for anybody who didn't get a catch of that, definitely go back to the very beginning of the stream. We went over expected move for NVIDIA earnings based off of just this weekly contracts. But of course, the expected move, I think, is a little bit more than that. We're just grabbing kind of the passive range of that. It's actually going to be adjusted. I'm going to have to redo it again, but that was what it was. But also, we went over SPY. So again, go back to the beginning of the stream to recheck out NVIDIA earnings breakdown and SPY. But yeah, only about 15, 16 minutes before the close, and then it should be 20 minutes after that for the actual NVIDIA earnings themselves. So, definitely happy about that. I know a lot of my people in chat have shares, and that's really awesome, because I think it's cool to be bullish on a stock and trade options and stuff, but I think it's even cooler, and honestly more impressive, to have equity, to have shares in this stuff long term. I think that's really cool, so... If you guys ever end up getting good positional buys, good for you. Seriously, I hope you end up holding those very well. On good companies. I hope none of you are in chat, posting like GameStop or anything. Which I haven't seen that, because I know you guys aren't like that. But yeah, I know a lot of people in my chat definitely have shares, which is kind of cool. Because I know in most cases we're always sitting here talking about options, but I think it's very mature to, be a long-term investor, not just somebody who's looking for that short-term excitement. But welcome everybody in chat. Definitely like the stream if you're here. 15 minutes till close, and then should be at 20 minutes after the close, we should have NVIDIA earnings. You want me to look at Roku, or are you just typing Roku? Did they change their thing up here? I don't always remember it saying Inca and that, like Inc A. I don't remember it saying that with spaces in between it every time. That looks different. Yeah, honestly, this one's gonna be a pretty crazy one in my opinion, because it's at a part of the chart where, like, if you're buying shares, you just gotta leave it alone for a while, It's like, it's hard to sit here and be like, well, this is definitely gonna go up. Look how low it is. But positionally, it's great. But it looks like you're gonna be sitting here for a while. But honestly, I like this one. I think Roku's a really good one, because when I first started trading, it was a really boring one that nobody looked at. Even before I started trading, it wasn't even out yet. But when it did come out, I constantly remember how many people would make the point of how many devices this is on. And if I remember correctly, it's still on the same number of devices, if not more. So the fact that it's down here in the same spot that it was, and has the same, data for the most part. I mean, I'm sure they have more data, or they haven't been making as much or something. I don't know all the fundamentals, but either way, positionally it looks good if you're just going off that context. I don't know. Here, let me look. Let's just look together. We shall look together. Is it Wolf Street that I like to look at? No, not Wolf Street. What is the one that I like to look at? Is it Datarama? No. Wait, this might be something I need though. Hold up. Roku. Let's do last 3 months. Actually, wait, hold up. When was this low made? The beginning of the year. Okay, so let's go back a little further than that. Let's go 6 months. Okay, so in terms of insiders, there's a lot more selling than buying. But it looks like a lot of that selling's done in terms of that. Yeah, June, July, that was the last of it. And that was the president. Oh, that was a Roku Media. Never mind. That's not important. I can't remember the site I'm trying to think of. There's a site that would literally tell me the fundamentals, and I can't remember it now. Alright, whatever. Roku devices market share. As of August 2024, Roku has a 48% market share of streaming media players globally, according to blah, 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 second quarter 2024. Apple TV and Amazon Fire are close behind with 13%. That's not close. That's horrible. In North America, Roku's market share is even higher with 50% as of... That's crazy. Yeah, they're never gonna catch up with device count. There's just too many devices that have Roku already embedded into it. I don't know. I think Roku's a pretty good one long term. Let me look at. Oh, huh. They have a 0% debt to equity ratio. Sounds like they need some money. Ratio of 6% marginally high. 4% less considered low. Good debt ratio. Very fun. Yeah, I probably need to see what other industry norms there are for this kind of sector. You can't just look at a debt ratio and be like, oh, it's 0, that's good. Like, no, what if the other companies are a lot higher and that's actually low compared to the other ones? That would be bad. I don't know, debt to equity ratios don't look too bad. Oh, wait, this is the website. Macro Trends. This is it. It took me to the one I wanted. Y'all should save this website, Macro Trends. This is probably the greatest website you could look at for just quick information on a company. Not just, chart stuff, but the fundamentals, the financials, everything you need to know. And it breaks it down in case you don't know what you're looking at. Pretty cool website, though. I don't know. It's some cool stuff to think about with this sitting down here again. Sinful's definitely happy hearing me say all of that. Let's see, though. Thank you, B, for being here. I missed you. I missed you, too, OA83. How you been? Whoa, German got a free membership by Sanddollar. Sanddollar's like Willy Wonka of our group. He really is. He just runs around. He's throwing candy around at everybody. It's like, free membership for you. Free membership for you. Sanddollar's a real one. If we had like a top donated like leaderboard, he would definitely be up there. And even though Rambo hasn't done it in a while, Rambo did it so much for a while that Rambo would still be up there. It'd be like tied probably, Rambo and Sanddollar. Because Rambo did a lot of membership gifting when I first did my YouTube membership thing. Because I wasn't even going to do this. Somebody else was like, oh, you should do a YouTube thing and just do, isolated content, blah, 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 and share it with your blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, bet. Yeah, he is Jeff Bezos for real. Oh yeah, let's watch SPY. Why am I staring at NVIDIA? We don't care about NVIDIA yet. But yeah, my levels are of course off right now because we just did so many examples. Let's remove this one. Yeah, I don't even know which one I'm on anymore. Okay, here we are. So you can see here, I didn't even fix my chart correctly. I still have this one back here. The hell was I thinking? Oh no, wait, that is right. Okay, so never mind. I was right. We'll remove this today and re-add it. It'll be fixed. But look where that head and shoulder made its shoulders at. Like it held it here, broke down here, came back up, held here. It's literally focused on the last low that hasn't been broken yet. So my example, of course, when I was telling Andrew was from here, but it looks like on the legit levels, doing it the right way, going day to day to day to day to day. This was actually the last time it was correct, and the low has not been broken yet until today. So this is why the zone is drawn this way. Pretty cool, though. Very effective. When they had selling, this is most likely where they want it to be. When buyers return, this is most likely what they want to fight back for. They're putting it right at the perfect spot of the chart before a very, very decisive earnings happens. That's the 200 on the 5-minute? Jesus. Yeah, so a very strong area. And you'll notice too, Andrew, and honestly anybody in here who uses average lines or just honestly a lot of just basic indicators. I find basic indicators to be some of the best. But a lot of the time you'll see that a lot of the data or info that you get from them line up with levels or zones that we have. And that's because we are using effective price history. And a lot of indicators use price history to kind of start how they even form the indicator, on the chart. A lot of average lines is just price history added, divided. A lot of indicators, though, start with prices and just the numbers of the chart that you're looking at. So if you use price history to trade, a lot of the time you're going to end up lining up with other indicators as well. And that's just also effective because it's just something else you can have on. So if you're someone who's used to using indicators, it shouldn't throw you off. If anything, it should empower how you feel about a certain area of the chart. All right, let's get a poll going. Let's do a poll. Start a poll. I'm just going to say NVIDIA ER up or down. We're not going to do anything crazy. Up, down. And here, you know what? We'll add a third option. Flat. There you go. Just for a fun little questionnaire for all of us to just kind of throw out there. What extra channel will I get with premium Discord membership? I could just show you, I guess. Yeah, you know, I'll just show you. You're not sketchy, right? This is what you get. You have VIP section. You get trading videos. This channel's just now been reverted to this, to where we just talk about IWM, because it's just going over a really good chart that more people need to focus on. A trade floor for people to kind of type in and just kind of focus on. But most people who have premium still go to trade floor to type. It's pretty funny. And then Kindred, which these are just straight up posted plays. He posts a watch list, which this is from me every morning. And then he posts his own plays. Right now he's doing a, I don't even remember the numbers, so I stopped paying attention. A $1,000 account challenge. I don't even know what he's up to right now. He's only made a few plays. I don't think he's up crazy. But he didn't post a bunch of plays, and he's someone that he's the only bot I've ever had in my chat repeatedly. And we have like a deal between us where he posts my watch list and I get his bot for free. So it's just, we just help each other out. But I've been around for so long that he likes my watch list and stuff. So, and every single time he's always asked for them. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll post them. So every morning at like, sometimes I'll send them to him at 3 in the morning. Sometimes I send them to him at 8 in the morning. Sometimes, you know, it's just whatever time in the morning, but I send him my watch list for these guys. I've kind of been just watching these to kind of see how it's going. So far, it's not bad. I try not to promote it too heavily, though, because I don't want people thinking like that's what we do here, because it's really not. I've probably lost popularity and lost, you know, I've probably lost people because of how boring our chat can be. Like, we just go over the right stuff. We don't always go over the exciting stuff, you know, and I think that's what people want the most out of the market is the exciting stuff, not the boring stuff. But when you're in my chat, though, and you see people typing, like, you're meeting someone that actually gives a shit. Like, and that's what I like about my chat. There's not a billion people in here, and it's just full of genuine people who just want to grow. They don't care, you know, what they have to do to grow. I mean, they do care. I guess they don't want to do it at the expense of others, but I don't know. It's just a cool old-fashioned kind of chat, but that's the only channel that's like that. I don't want people to think like, oh, I gotta get premium. I gotta get premium. Like, I don't want people to think like that. I don't want people to think, oh, let's just follow these plays all the time, because this also happens in Lifetime. There's plenty of plays that are posted by members of the chat that make huge gains. There's also plays that lose. You know, I don't want people to think like, oh, it's signal based. Like, let's just follow them. A lot of the time you see these guys post, it really is to be more informational more than it is for you to follow them. You know, if you want to follow them, that's great. That you want to follow along their trade because you also agree with the analysis. That's even more great because now you're not just a sheep. You're not just following somebody. Now you're actually picking up on something. You're understanding why you like it. What's the importance behind things? Why is it effective? Why is it an impactful setup? And that's why you're in. That should be the reason. Not because, oh, I saw Carl get in or I saw Knox to get in. That's great that you saw them get in. But did you read their analysis? You know, and then did you agree with it? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear you say, well, I really like this. Thanks to Knox for showing me this. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear someone going, I followed him. I don't want to hear that. So that's a big reason I don't really like to show it too much or promote it too much. I think I tweeted once about it, and that's it. I don't want people to think like, oh, we gotta buy premium. That's fine if you do, but I don't want people to think that way. I like the chat being old-fashioned. I like everybody get off my screen, Roku. I just want a good old-fashioned mature chat. That's all I want. All right, guys, we have just over a minute before the market closes. And then we can see 20 minutes after the close what NVIDIA earnings is going to do. But we could see the day is going to be relatively red on the day, but a really nice pullback to the upside end of day. So a little bit of a hammer. And again, if we go back to our just regular chart, we're not having to look at like a billion things. Whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. I'm still on the wrong screen. You know what? Let's just redraw this together. Let's go to the monthly. I'm just going to grab a couple emerging candles because I'm lazy. And these are really good levels. Whoops. And this month doesn't count because it's not over yet. We'll go to the daily. Grab our rectangle tool. I'm going from the high of this candle to the open of this candle. You know what? Let's just do that. And I'll do 2025. And then I'm going from the high of this candle to the open of that candle because that was the recent supply. But then we retook it. That was really good. Good rejection. But now we're just kind of stuck between these two. So that's why I'm focused on those more than anything. And then if we go to the weekly, we redraw our... Whoops, that's the monthly. Go to the weekly. Go to the Fibonacci tool. Zoom in. You can see we got this huge ass pullback. Leland showed me this really cool trick. If you go from the low of this move to the upside, grab the high. These are insanely far targets, but right now, they're not really important. But down the road, they might be. If we make new all-time high, those are going to definitely be important. And while other people are freaking out, wondering where we're going, we will have a very good idea. Then we're going to go to the daily. We're going to zoom in. Pull back up a little bit. And I want to grab a couple psychological levels. We've got 575 here. I'm really big on 25, 50, 75, 100, 75, 600. Jesus, almost to the cent I got it. But there's also other psychological levels here, 570, 585, you know, stuff like that. But these are the major ones that I'm going to be focused on as we move up the chart. I probably will even cheat. Yeah, you know what? Let's just grab 585 as well. Was that close? I'll be amazed. Oh, okay. 75. You know what? I'm going to stick to the math. I'm going to just leave that there. All right, so just ignore everything I said. Just focus on those levels if we break all-time high. But right now, we're really not focused on that. Just kind of thinking about it, because if we do end up having insane earnings, tech follows, market follows, where are we going next? Most likely 575. People are going to cut you short and say 566, 567.50, 570, 572.50. But 575 is the major psychological level up there. You just got the premium membership. You're cool now. You're cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm really not big on promoting my memberships like that because I want people to think for themselves. I don't want people to like get into chat and be marketed to. I can't stand how many servers people are a part of that do that. You know, it amazes me. I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk with you. I know I said that aggressively as I'm saying at you, but you know what I mean. But if you really did get it, let me welcome you in there. Oh, you did. Welcome, Andrew. Glad to have you, man. And just remember, that chat isn't that active. A lot of the people that are trading are either just watching and doing their own thing, or they're posting in trade floor. So if you feel like you're talking to yourself, it's not like that. I promise you. I'm not gonna lie. I have so many introverts and so many people in my chat that are just kind of focused on them and just kind of trying to do the right thing and stick to the right routine. It's crazy. But if you ever have any questions, though, feel free to reach out or just post in there or anything. But I'm pretty active. D-Touch, a couple of my mods are very active in whatever channel you post in. So somebody will see it. But welcome, though. Glad to have you. There's my man, Letter Buck. He said, yikes, 80% say up. I should buy puts on NVIDIA. Bro's inverting the poll. Can I vote? Nope. That's right, I'm not allowed to vote. My bad, Mighty One. Here you go. Who started the stream without me? I'm sorry, Vanessa. I'm sorry. This wasn't even planned, but honestly, I sat down and I was like super motivated. And I knew NVIDIA earnings was about to happen, and that's probably the biggest thing that's going to happen this week. So I thought I'd be here for it. Plus, I kind of missed you guys. Yo, Letterbuck, let me know what contract you got. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't trade NVIDIA earnings. Unless you have shares, I really don't think anybody should be a part of this. And if you guys ever want to trade earnings, you should really talk to Miker on TradeFloor about how you can do just different types of spreads. Really, he does different types. I can't really just say just one like calendars or anything, but if you're ever interested in how you actually trade more complex spreads, I would talk to the more smarter individuals in our chat like Miker or Tin Man. Either of those two, I would trust. I would not trust any other person with telling me how to trade spreads, because most people don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm sorry, Vanessa. I just knew this week wasn't going to be much. But I'm excited to be here for the NVIDIA earnings. I think after NVIDIA earnings is here, I think this breaks up a lot more in the market, because we either get a clear, definite rejection, we get a new all-time high on the market, which those would both be decisive. That's something we can take action on. But if we reject and don't break the support, that's going to be a pretty indecisive response from the NVIDIA earnings, and we're just going to have to watch the rest of this week to see what kind of tone we have on tech. Really, I really want to see what tech's going to do. We'll focus on small caps, and then we'll see what's everything doing. And if everything is trying to hold, then I'm going to assume we are going to try to move up higher. It's unfair to say if everything's holding, we should move down. No, nothing has changed, so we should keep moving up if everything is still holding. I expect new all-time highs if nothing bad comes out, really. Nothing from NVIDIA. I don't want to hear anything about war overseas over the weekend with Labor Day coming. Again, we don't have a market on Monday, guys, so remember, any money that you trade on Friday, I don't think you can actually use on Tuesday, I think is how it works. So make sure you don't spend all your money Friday. So on Tuesday, you have something to trade with. I think that's how that works, if I remember that correctly. I'm pretty sure they settle very weird. But if you don't have that problem, don't worry about it. One way or another. How is this stream without music? I've been meaning to try this. How has the vibes been without music? Is it, like, weird when I'm not talking? Which is rare, because I'm pretty much always yapping. You enjoy the music? I can actually find some. Oh, are you good, by the way, Mighty One? Oh, she said thank you. Never mind. She's been good. The hell was I doing? All right, market's closed. We got 13 minutes before the big shebang. All right. Oh, market's closed now. We can do what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's mark the close of today on NVIDIA. Go back to trade. And we're just going to grab the expected move of this week for implied volatility. I'm not going to be grabbing the... There's a better number you could grab. So it's $7 on each side. So what's that? That's 132.66. To the upside, you got to split the number in half, add it to each side. And then 7 away from this, that'd be $1.34. That'd be 118.66, 118.66, I think. There we go. All right, so as of math shows, this should be the outer range of everything we see happen after hours. But with it being earnings related, it's going to be a little bit more volatile than that. So I'm just keeping a general base in front of us, really. But I doubt. I don't know. I guess I can't say I doubt. Never mind. It's NVIDIA. You hear the music more on your your Lenovo than you're on your Mac. Fancy, you got that and a Mac. Plus, when you're not talking, the music helps me stay focused. Yeah, I need to find some music, though. That is pretty boring. Someone needs to find me a good non-copyright playlist that has some good music on it. If this was Twitch, we could play whatever we wanted, but this is YouTube, so we can't. There's got to be, like, some good artists out there that actually have non-copyright music, right? Alright, as of right now, the poll has 25 votes. 76% say up, 16% say down, 8% say flat. Define good music. Yeah. I more mean like soothing music that's not like annoying to listen to while I'm sitting here going over things, or while I'm not going over, while I'm quiet. Yeah, I don't know. You're not wrong though. Everybody's definition is a little different on that one. I can't believe an hour has gone by. An hour and 20. All right, 11 minutes, or I'm sorry, 10 minutes, 15 seconds till earnings. Per my sources in my own chat, so take that with a grain. Yo-ho, Risen. Yeah, Risen's pretty real. Is this on Twitter that you found that at? Letterbuck? Sorry. I should have said who I was trying to talk to. Let me go to their Twitter. I should probably follow them. I think I found the picture you have. Nope, that's a different picture. What did Crowd do after hours? He just said rip. Oh. What the fuck? Alright, back to NVIDIA. If we can't hit all-time high for SPY this week, I wouldn't be surprised for a red September. No, that's actually valid. That's valid. Because it would show more struggle. If we don't get it over this week or next week, that would definitely show more struggle. And if the beginning of September is just us rejecting things, I agree with you. I agree with that 100%. I would say that's a very accurate comment. This week and next week, I'd say, though. Just to be on the safer side. My crowd shares need a bump, so I hope that sticks. I can't root for anybody. We got people shorting it. We got people in shares. Actually, shout out to both of you, because I bet I could do both. I didn't even realize Crowd had earnings, I'm going to be honest. That's another stock I like to swing trade a lot, because it just has such good movement. And good patterns appear at good areas. It's a good one to look at. Let's see, Crowd market share. Oh, I have to type in what kind of market share. Cyber security market share. Alright, so they have a... They actually improved their market share. Wow, that's pretty good. As of quarter 1 of 2024, due to strong revenue growth of 33%, they grew their market share to 17.25%. Damn. Good for them. Yeah, they must be picking up. You know, it's funny, in solar, this is happening too. There's certain, like, foreign policies going into place, and policies just in general over in Europe. For like solar panels and what kind of companies can do better with the types of laws and policies coming out. And there's certain companies like SolarEdge that are actually losing their market share to companies like Enphase and vice versa in other parts of different countries around the world. But just that's happening a lot in different sectors right now, and it's just interesting to just honestly, such a cool, simple thing to look at too. Just type in whatever you're looking at and type in market share, and it is so fun to compare it to its competitors and just think about it from just a basic standpoint. You know, it's nothing crazy. But I feel like market share really does speak a lot more than people like to think about, especially if their market share is growing. That should only mean they're dominating it even more. That should only mean good steps for that company. Shouldn't even need to look at anything else. I mean, maybe see if they're in debt. That would suck. Andrew said past 5. Oh, this is an interesting stat. He said past 5 years have been a negative month for the month of September. Bloody September might stick around a 6th year in a row. We'll see though. We gotta remember too, we have it's election year too, so it could be a little crazier. But I'm ready for anything, and I think a lot of you guys are too. As long as we stay open-minded and we keep plans for either direction. Oh, it's from a different Discord. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not butthurt by that. I was just curious. Because they did post something similar to that on Twitter. I was just interested. Only way it saved is NVIDIA tanks the market. I'm saying I hope the best for your play is Vanessa's typing. It's like, oh great, she's gonna see that I'm rooting for the crowd play. I can't root for either of you. All right. Any minute now. 3 minutes. No, sorry, 4 minutes. Should see some more movement on this chart soon. Damn, Daffy. I read your comment and then I looked back at my chart and was like, am I about to see a blood candle? You can't scare the people like that, Daffy. Aloha, what are you rooting for? Oh, she wanted it to go up. She wants it to go up. For real, I almost had a little heart attack there. I was reading it. I looked at the chart and then I went back to the YouTube chat and looked at his comment and I was like, am I about to look back over at my screen and see a huge red candle? Like, just the timing of that would have been crazy. Minute and 40. Minute 40 seconds. Guys, we're getting movement. Guys, it's doing the thing. Oh, I gotta end the poll so y'all can't cheat. HP? HP? I haven't heard that one in forever. Quarterly revenue of $30 billion. They're up 15% and 122% from a year ago. 15% up from a quarter, from quarter one. Quarterly data center revenue of 26 billion. All right, so they're doing pretty good on the numbers. There's more data to come out though. Hopper demand remains strong, and the anticipation for Blackwell is incredible. NVIDIA achieved record revenues as global data centers are in full throttle to modernize the entire computing stack with accelerated computing and generative AI. Blackwell samples are shipping to our partners and customers. Blah, 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 blah. We are helping frontier models make customer. If I see generative AI typed one more time. NVIDIA returned a lot to its shareholders. That's pretty nuts. Alright, that was all we needed to hear was the beginning part. Is there any more out yet? Oh, here we go. Okay, so they beat estimates. Slightly beat estimates. 0.64, 0.68. 6.25%. Good for them. Whoa. Approved an additional $50 billion in share repurchase. That's actually nuts. Well, that's pretty good news. Without expiration. I don't quite understand that one, but that's pretty interesting. Doesn't that kind of mean a bad thing if it says without expiration? Because that means they could just do this whenever they want. It doesn't even have to be this year. Because I bet people read this and they're like, oh my god, they're buying that right now. Like, no, they might be waiting. Oh, that's the same news. Alright, nothing new on that. Alright, it looks like they overall beat. It looks like they're just looking for the guidance to come out now. They'll say what's possible for the near future, what they're looking forward to, or what numbers they're looking to hit. And if they seem overconfident, could just keep it flat or red. You really want to see companies give out goals that you know they'll hit. You know, you want to under deliver and over promise, or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean. But they want to give not as great guidance moving forward. Then when they kill it, it's unexpected and it looks like it's just gonna fly. You know. I don't know why I couldn't remember the saying correctly. But they are breaking previous day low right now. Or I'm sorry, today's low. They broke it for a half second. Oh, never mind. Completely gone. Aim low, shoot high, exactly. Aim small, miss small. Over promise and under deliver. Okay, I literally said it backwards. That's crazy. That's why it felt wrong to me. I said under deliver and over promise. I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. I literally said it backwards. We'll see, Vanessa. It might be with what I said though, because they hit everything they were probably expecting. This is probably just a reaction of, you know, everyone expected them to do good, I'm sure. So that's probably why it's doing this. Bushi picked up on that one. He said he picked up on it, Vanessa. That's actually where it's from, Andrew. That's where we make that joke from. Is the exact same thing you just said, the Fed rate. Because every time it happens, we even have a guide for it. Look on the trade floor. I think it's in there. Or if it's not in there, someone please pin it to him. Or tag him on the post. But That guide Leland made is so perfect. It's hilarious. Like, I can't stop seeing those images he shared since that, and it's so funny. Oh, you do have it. Okay. Never mind. No one tag him. But yeah, that is exactly where that's from. It's funny you got that like instantly. I bought it 114. Just kidding. Yeah, don't scare me like that. I blame Rob and B for this plummet. Wait, is crowd actually moving? Oh, never mind. Nah, Rob's still screwed, or whoever that was in chat still screwed on his play. In the morning it might see that, but... Alright, so it's made its move past the week's expected move. And now it's retaking it again. I think the people who voted flat are going to be the geniuses. Where's that poll? How many people voted that? Only 7% voted flat. Okay, I'll remember that. If this is flat in the next, like, you know, by tonight, I would say those people are correct. Simple said bought at 116. Another comment later. Just now. You thought flat but selected up. That's funny. Oh, Misi made a good point. If you guys look at SPY after hours too, SPY got moved down to that zone again. Jesus, dude, I need to fix my charts. I have too many because I go over too many things. Oh no, this is the one I wanted. Never mind. Okay, I need to backtest. Where are these 3 levels coming from? Because every time I've shared my chart, I see these 3 levels here, and I'm like, man, are people going to think this is weird? So I'm going to color these and see where are these coming from. These aren't all emergent candles, are they? That can't be right? Max daily. I'll be surprised. Okay, one of them is, and 2 of them are leftover levels. Okay, we're deleting those 2. That's crazy. The longest time I just left them there. Let's change that back to whatever color we've been doing. And yeah, back to bid. Now I don't feel as weird sharing those levels. When I share them, I try to zoom it in, and if there's like too many levels, I fear that it like overwhelms somebody. So I try to always make sure, but it looks like I did make a mistake. So if you've been seeing my posts this past week or so and they have those 3 levels, I am very sorry. This is the only one that was important, apparently. Damn, good job, Mikey. He said, love the momentum in faux mode. Took a quick scalp for 26% within 5 minutes. That's crazy. If you're going to FOMO into a trade, at least you FOMO'd back out. Not FOMO'd back out, but you know what I mean. At least you had the same pacing, you know. If you're going to get into a trade that quick, I really hope you have the same pacing when you're getting back out, you know, because if you're getting in late on a dive, you know, it should only make sense to get out quick. And look at you, 26%, less than 5 minutes. That's crazy. Very, very quick. All that movement SPY's just chilling above today's low still. Alright guys, well, I think I'll end the stream there. We had a really good time together in the power hour. Started it just before power hour, and then we chilled here for NVIDIA earnings together. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys again for all the likes, everybody coming in here, dropping their own comments, and just kind of adding to the stream. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'll see you guys later on. Thank you again, and make sure to tune into the Discord and vote in the poll for the end of the day, because I think that got posted, I think, right? No, it didn't. I'll post it right now. Yeah, but yeah, go vote on the poll bot in the chat. Let us know if you had a good day, a bad day. Let us know if you didn't trade. Just let us know. But see you guys later on.